Hi and welcome back to my channel. I am your girl Felicia. On my channel I do vlogs, fashion, beauty, lifestyle, and I keep it a buck. So if you want to join the fan group, go ahead, hit that subscribe button. Also don't forget to like and comment. We want the comments because we're about to have a conversation. If you're new here, on the first Saturday of every month, I like to do what I call coffee and conversations. And so we are about to get into it. I think this is going to be a good one. So let's just get right into it. I have my coffee, and I think I've seen shown this mug, but it said it's too early for you to say things. And I think this is a banana nut muffin. So yeah, so this conversation, okay, I'm going to pose a question. And I got to this question based off a situation that I was dealing with. So the question is, are you making decisions based off of trauma, or are you taking, is the advice that you're getting from others based off their trauma or real wisdom? So here's the thing. I was dealing with this situation, trying to figure out something. And a part of me was just like, just roll with it, go with the flow, see what happens, which is completely out of my comfort zone. I am a figure it out, what are we doing? I need to have a plan. Going with the flow is not really like my judge. And in this situation, it was kind of relationship based, whatever. So a part of me was just like, go with the flow, see what happens. You know, it's still early, you still trying to figure things out. But another part of me just kept having like all of these, I kept hearing all of these like your relationship folks on this side of the head, on this side of my brain, like, no, you don't go with the flow, because if you go with the flow, you don't know what's happened, and that's how they play with your head, and you're supposed to be dating with attention, and da 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 da. And while, yeah, that's true, I also was just like, am I trying to make a decision based off of fear and trauma? Or am I making a decision based off of true known facts, what I see ahead of me, and what I know to be true? And so it made me just ask that question. Do we make decisions, or do we take advice or give advice based off facts, wisdom, and experience? And experience is kind of leery because that can lead into, or are we making decisions based off of our trauma? And what I think is that a lot of times we are making our decisions based off our trauma, off of fear. We don't want whatever happened in the past to happen again, or we're trying to protect our friends or loved ones from making the same mistakes that we've made, or we're projecting our fear and trauma onto somebody else in the guise of, this is my advice to you. And so what I would say is, in those situations, you really got to take a step back and just really think, like, what are the facts? What is it that I know to be true? Not what my trauma is saying. You have to really kind of tell your trauma to, like, shut up. So it's like, what do I know to be true? This is what I know. This is what I see. This is what I'm experiencing right now. So, you do I make a decision based off of, so why would I make a decision based off of something that happened to me in the past? Yes, you go through life and you have these lessons, and they help you to build wisdom and things like that. But then also you don't want to let those experiences put you in a place where now you're living and you're making decisions out of fear, out of anger, out of just not wanting to, fearful of not wanting to make the same mistake twice. You can make a decision. Who's to say that even though you may make a decision that's better than the one you had, but it still might not may be the right decision, and you still might make a mistake. So why not make a decision based off of the facts and what you see and what you got going on, versus trying to make a decision off of what you've already experienced? Because what you experience may not even have, what you experienced in the past may not even be a factor in the decision that you're trying to make right now. And so, yeah, so I was dealing with that. And like I said, I was in my head about it. And a lot of what was in my head was just hearing like my own experience and my own trauma, but as well as just, from watching, we got to be careful watching all of these so-called relationship gurus and advisors and people that's coaches and all that, because a lot of times what they're teaching is based off their trauma. It's no sound. They have no sound facts to put in it, no sound resources. There's nothing that they're telling you that's actual fact, where it has been studied, proved, and tried. And so you have to be careful, and not just with relationship coaches, but with anybody, especially if they aren't skilled and trained. Just like I got up and turned this phone on or this camera on and started recording and telling y'all what I think. That's the same thing they doing. Only they just making it sound good. So we have to be careful with that. But I was trying to make this decision, and I just had that little things that I have been hearing in the past about the situation, like that pertains to the situation that I was trying to make a decision on, just in my head, like, and I had to stop. And I was just like, well, what makes sense for me? What makes sense for me right now, and what do I know? This is what I know, and this will be the best decision for me. And the crazy thing is, the decision that I made is completely out of my comfort zone. Completely out of my comfort zone. But it's the best decision for me at this current time. It makes the best sense. So it doesn't make sense for me to try to make a decision based off of my trauma or somebody else's trauma that's coming off as wisdom, and it does not fit or work for me. So that would be my advice to you. When I thought about that, I was like, oh, this would be a great coffee and conversation, because I think that we are dealing, so many people are dealing with this, especially rude, especially if you are dealing with like relationship stuff, friendship stuff, whatever. But mainly because the people love to get on here and give you relationship advice and tell you about relationships. So, and I think that because of that, it's making dating and trying to figure things out when it comes to dating and relationships a whole lot more complicated than what it has to be, because you have people giving you this advice that's really based off their trauma. And so now what they're really telling you, they're really putting you in a place where it's like, don't use discernment, keep your guard up, operate out of fear or operate out of ego, because it's what you're not going to do, what you're not going to put up with. This is what you should be getting, this is what you shouldn't. And that might not even fit what you're dealing with, or what you're going through, or your experience. So I would just say, after going through that and having this like revelation, look at the facts, look at what you're doing with. Always use discernment. Always use discernment and make the best decision for you. It's only your life. You can only live your life for you, and you have to do what's best for you. And you have to shut out all of the outside noise, especially if that outside noise is not real, true, sound advice. So let's talk about it. Y'all know I love to carry these conversations on into the comments. So let me know. Have you found yourself making decisions based off of what we'll just call trauma wisdom or trauma advice? Or have you had to stop and say, okay, what works best for me. Let's talk about it in the comments. Let me know how you feel. Like, if you get to a point, and are you also getting to the point where when it comes to like these people on social media or whatever like that, that's calling themselves coaches and mentors and giving all this advice, have you found yourself shutting them out because it's not really as helpful as they want it or deem it to be? Let's talk about it in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you on my next video. Oh, we are slowly getting there. We are slowly, we're slowly getting there, but fastly growing at the same time, if that makes sense. I am still going to come on here and we are going to do a live when I hit that 1K. So if y'all want to have a real live conversation, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And it won't be a coffee and conversation. We are going to have a wind down, kickback type situation. So hit the subscribe button for that, and I'll see you on my next video. Bye.